Hi, my name is Jenny. Welcome to Learning Spark. Today our topic is going to be about literacy knowledge and skills, commonly termed ELA. Early literacy is the foundation for reading and writing in all academic endeavors in school. So as your child is getting into school, getting ready for kindergarten, they are going to use early literacy skills as the foundation for reading and writing and math. This is so important. So the topic we're going to talk about today is book appreciation and knowledge. It's really just the first step in building their early literacy skills. I want you guys to look at your child and I want you to notice, do they have an interest in shared reading experiences, and do they have an interest in independent reading experiences? If they are interested in both, that is a great sign that they are very well prepared for kindergarten. If they're struggling with one or the other, it would be great to try to figure out why they might be struggling. We're also looking for the mechanics of reading. Does your child know that books go from front to back? Do they know that it goes one page at a time? Those are the most important things for your child to know at this early stage, because as they get to kindergarten, they're going to be expected to already know that and be moving on to the next thing. So it's very important that they understand the mechanics of reading. Does your child have an interest in different types of writing? Are they interested in fiction? Are they interested in nonfiction? Poetry? Informational? What kind of writing are they enjoying? It's important to note that they have very unique interests based on the child. When I was younger, I was interested in language books and learning different languages. And I had no help to do that, so I did not do a very good job. But that was what I was interested in, and nobody pushed me away from it. And I took on a lot of extra different literature topics just because they were related to that language. So it's important to note as a parent that you want to encourage your child to find any type of writing that they are interested in, and to encourage your children to continue exploring that avenue. Can your child connect pictures to text? Can they connect that in this story, this is where it's recorded on the page, this is where it's pictured on the page? Do they recognize that? Can they relate stories to real life? And finally, can they retell stories through conversation, through art, through drama, through dance? Can they retell those stories? So it's important to know that as they get into kindergarten, there are a whole bunch of standards. I'm just going to list a few. It's called RLK1, Reading and Language Kindergarten Standard number 1, is all about asking and answering questions about key details. Standard number 2 is retelling familiar stories, including key details. And standard number 3 is identifying characters, settings, and major events in the story. So with all of that, those are just the first 3 standards. It goes on to have several more. But with those first 3 standards, it becomes very clear that key details are very important in kindergarten. They need to be able to identify them. They need to be able to retell them. They need to include them. They need to know the characters, the settings, the major events, all of those things. So as you are preparing your student and you are teaching them to read from front to back, one page at a time, and you're watching their interests grow in fiction, nonfiction, are they connecting pictures? Are they relating stories to life? As you're helping them with all of that, you really are doing the greatest thing in preparing them for kindergarten, because you're exposing them to language. So keep it up. That's the way to go for sure. If you are looking to develop some of those skills a little further, the best way to do that is to choose relatable stories. Relatable situations or emotions can really speak to children when they are looking at new books. So even if the situation is bizarre, if the emotion is very similar to something you've seen your child go through, it's possible they may connect with it really well. Those relatable stories are going to help them be more interested in those different types of writing, and they're going to be more interested in relating those stories to their lives and retelling them. The other great thing to do for a development activity is to read books together. It's very simple. Focus on, every time you read a book, focus on teaching one new thing at a time. So if your child doesn't know where the title of the story is, teach them where to find the title and teach them about the title page, but only teach them about the title page for a short while. Don't overwhelm them with, this is the title page, this is the author's name, this is the illustrator's names, and now you need to know where all of this is in every single book you've ever heard. It's not going to go very well. They're going to be overwhelmed. So you need to make sure that when you are teaching them about book appreciation and knowledge and about the different parts of the book, that you're just teaching them one little piece at a time, something manageable for them. And then you can ask them about it and say, hey, look, I found the title on this book. Can you find one on the book over there? And see what they do. They may surprise you. They might not. They might need more practice. That's okay too. So it's very important to focus on just one little piece of knowledge at a time. Another thing that you can do to aid in development of their book appreciation and knowledge is to offer different types of literature. So I talked earlier about fiction, nonfiction, informational, poetry, all of those different types of texts. Make sure that you're offering different types of texts. If they're not being exposed to it in the home, their first exposure might be in kindergarten, and it might be kind of weird for them to just see that all of a sudden at school. So try to expose them to all those different things in the home so that they can come to school, come to kindergarten with a greater knowledge of what kind of things are out there. It's also great to include books that are about movies. So Disney has wonderful literature about many of their common classic stories like The Jungle Book, Finding Nemo. I've seen Mickey Mouse, I've seen Little Mermaid, I've seen Trolls, I've seen all sorts of different things. It's important to find books about movies because it really helps students to connect pictures to text and pictures to retelling. So it really helps them take that book from just being a book and recognize that, hey, this book is part of a movie and I have seen that movie. And it helps them kind of relate that to their life and have more of a personal connection to that writing. It makes it more important to them and helps engage them. It's also going to show them that, hey, this is one way that you can retell a story. You can make a movie about it. So that's an important realization as well, as they are becoming more and more aware of books, and it's going to help them appreciate books in a new light and have more knowledge about books. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please send me those in the comment box. And as always, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks. Time for a quick episode review. Today we talked about book appreciation and knowledge. Why does this matter as we prepare our children for kindergarten? That's because early literacy is the foundation for reading and writing in all academic endeavors in school. Teaching your child these skills will give them a solid foundation as they enter kindergarten and are expected to branch off into more complex topics. Teaching these skills also gives parents the opportunity to get to know their child's interests and support their child's learning. The kindergarten standards today were RLK 1, 2, 3, and a few other standards. As you're evaluating your child's book appreciation and knowledge, please consider the following questions. Does your child have an interest in shared and independent reading? Does your child understand the mechanics of reading? That books go front to back, one page at a time. Is your child interested in different types of writing? Fiction, nonfiction, information, poetry. Can your child connect pictures to text? Can your child relate stories to their life? And can your child retell stories through conversation, art, drama, or dance? Here are a few development activities to help your child with book appreciation and knowledge. Choose relatable stories to read together. Read books together. Teach one new thing at a time. Offer different types of literature to your child. For example, fiction, nonfiction, informational, poetry. Introduce your child to books about movies. Our next episode is going to be about print concepts and conventions. Thank you so much for coming. Please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon.